Charles Griffen, getting ready for the Indy Pro, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How many more weeks you got?
Man, we 2 weeks out tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah.
How you feeling, man?
This week was death week.
Oh,
Yeah, this week was like, other weeks were hard, but this week was like the hardest week for sure. Didn't feel like doing any of the workouts, but I had some of the best work. I had best workouts this week, just because I wasn't really feel like working out. But then, I willed myself through it, and we got some real good workouts in. So yeah, this is the worst week of prep so far right here. But
yeah.
I love it. You know what I mean? You got to embrace that feeling because you get nasty. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This separates the men from the boys, the weeks that you're in right now. Yeah.
Exactly.
And you got the death face going on,
Oh yeah, that's going on, man. And we still got 2 weeks. So yeah, I'm just gonna be bones, but it's all good.
Yeah. So this weekend is the South America, right? Brazil Arnold.
Yep.
And then is the Indy Pro, right?
Yep. So then the Indy Pros 2 weeks after that. So yeah, the Brazil Arnold is this weekend.
And then you got New York Pro, right?
I'm not gonna do New York Pro.
Okay.
I just don't like doing
because you're gonna win Indy, that's why.
yeah, but I'm gonna win Indy. We're gonna win Indy.
Oh, there's no question.
I'm still gonna compete. I'm still gonna compete in another show. After I win Indy, then we're gonna I'm not gonna do New York Pro, I'm gonna do the Cal Pro.
Oh, all right.
That's 2 weeks later. I just like coming, 1 week, do the show this weekend and getting ready for a show next weekend. I don't want to do it like that.
I don't blame you. Yeah.
So I want to, that's 2 weeks after. So the 14th and then the 28th is the Cal Pro. So that'll be my next show.
How do you think you're going to do with the Cal Pro? Because most of the time they don't pick guys like you. They usually pick like, who won the Cali Pro?
They usually pick like more streamlined,
yeah.
Guys. But with the new changes, with the hitting the vacuum in the front shots, this and that, and us, not really worried about being. I'm not going to be the biggest guy on stage, you know what I mean? But play to my advantage where I come in shredded, and I will have some of the most muscle on my frame out of the show, but. In regards to the scale, I'm never going to be the biggest guy. So
yeah, but you're always the densest.
Yeah,
you always have that round, dense muscle, and plus that grainy muscle that you don't see often. With all those years of pushing, that's what you bring. When you come out, you bring that wow factor. Some bodybuilders come out and they don't have that wow factor, and you come out and it's like all eyes on you.
So so it's like they can't deny that. Yeah, they usually don't pick this, pick that. But when we bring it, how we look, you know what I mean? It's like, it's going to be like, we got to give it to them. So yeah, those are the two next shows right there. Yeah.
So who do you think, who else is in the Indy Pro you're going up against? There's
it's me.
Blessing, right?
Blessing, Justin Rodriguez, there's some other guys in it, you know what I mean? Like those are the two names. I know there's other guys in them, but I really don't like to. At the beginning of my career, I used to always do that. Worry about this and worry about that. Yeah, right now, I just wait till the athlete list come out, and then I see who's on the athlete list.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm not really in here trying to see who's this, who's that, because that can play with your mind. That could play with your mind as well. So
big time.
It's just bringing my best and. We coming in like how we supposed to, and the cards gonna fall how they fall.
Yeah, well, you're gonna beat those two guys because I have my own rating system, and if you're on my show, then you're gonna beat the guys who aren't on my show.
So we got 2 weeks, so I can get on your show for the next 2 weeks. So we can.
That's right. You wreck everybody. Yeah, Justin and Blessing have never been on my show, so they automatically lost. That's it. It's all right. That's it. Yeah. Last year you took off, right? Last year you didn't do.
No, 2020 I took off. So I competed
2020, right?
2019, and then 2020 I took the year off with all that COVID and stuff.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Even before COVID, because 2019 I placed second at Chicago Pro. And then I didn't want to compete no more after that. I wanted to shut it down, but I had people in my corner saying, you should compete again. And then that's when I did a Tampa Pro, but I wasn't really in it. And I got the worst placing ever. I've never been not in the first call out, and I never not had top 5 placing. And I got 6th place. And right there, I was like, before COVID and all this, I'd say, you know what? I'm going to take a year off for 2020 and just, focus on me and just, focus on some things and come back 21. And then COVID happened. So it worked out perfect. I competed at 21 and I placed 3rd at Tampa, which, I was happy with 3rd, because not saying I was happy with 3rd, I was happy with the look we brought.
Yeah.
I was very happy with the look we brought. Could I think I should have placed higher? Of course, you know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and say, I think I should have won the show, but I think I could have got another look. And
we had this conversation at the Olympia. I don't know if you remember, and I agreed with you. And I'm not blowing smoke up your ass because you're on my podcast. But there are certain physiques that I just aren't as appealing to me, and there are certain physiques that don't bring that wow factor. And you had it, and some other guys didn't. But sometimes the judges like what they like sometimes, you know? I had this conversation with Paul Lazon. Paul is, I know, you know who he is, right? He's a judge, he's up in Canada. And we were talking about, oh Christ, what the hell's his name? The other Canadian bodybuilder.
Ian.
We were talking about Ian. And the thing with Ian is he comes out and it seems to me, and Paul agreed with me when we were talking about it. He comes out, he doesn't have that wow factor. But then he starts hitting his poses. And it's like, oh, okay, that he looks good there. He looks good there. And when he knows how to pose, his waist is this big. He's got this tremendous V taper, right? And you're like, oh, okay, kind of edges and squeaks by the guys that your eyes first go to you, He doesn't seem that impressive, but once he starts hitting those poses, you're like, all right. I could see why they picked him,
Ian does more shows.
He gets better and better.
So Tampa wasn't even his best look, you know what I mean?
I think he did Texas, right? He did
Texas, and then he got harder in Texas, won Texas, and then and then so on.
Yeah, exactly. You really blew up on the scene in 18, am I right? In 2018?
Yeah, 2018 is when, I really want to say 2017 is when it really started to happen, is because that's when I should have won. I ain't gonna lie. I should have won Kansas Pro, but I placed 2nd against a legend, Victor Martinez. So that was a win in my book. Regardless. Right. It was a win in my book. I still felt like I might have etched him out a little bit, but you know what? I'm not gonna complain about that second place. That's Victor Martinez, and that was a win in my book. That was a 2nd place win. You know what I mean? Victor gave me love, posted me on his Instagram, and then that's when my name really started taking off and people started to hear about me right there when I stepped on stage and me and Victor was the last man standing. And then it took off from there.
But you did win a show in that year, didn't you?
18, I won a show. I won a show in 18. I went back and did the same show, Kansas, and won that show.
Okay. And
I did Indy in 18 as well, and I placed 2nd. And then the next show, I teamed up with my coach Matt, because I had one coach, Tim Johnson, and then after Indy placing 2nd in Indy, we just kept missing the mark. So then that's when I switched up coaches and went with Matt. Then I won my next show.
Matt Jensen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matt is he's the hot trainer right now. There's a lot of guys on. But I remember who did you edge out when you won? You edged out Akeem.
Max Charles. That was the top 3 right there. And then I can't really remember as it trickled down from there. But those were the top 2 people that I edged out.
Yeah, Akeem is a big dude.
Big boy. Both of them, him and Max Charles. I felt like a little dude in between them two. You know what I mean? It was, I was standing amongst some big fellas. You know what I mean? But
Akeem is a monster. He goes to the same gym as me because he lives in Jersey now. We both have the same thing in common. Me and Akeem we're both from Brooklyn originally.
Yep.
And then we both moved to Jersey because our wives are from Jersey.
Okay. So I see who wears the pants in both of the relationships.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I just pay the bills. It's all.
It's a little different in my relationship. Yeah, she over there.
Yeah, she's letting you get away with it now because it's 2 weeks out.
Away with it now.
Yeah. But when I see him in the gym, like he looks like a building.
Yeah.
You know, and he's always wears a sweatshirt. He's this massive human being, just huge.
Yeah.
You know. Were you always athletic, or were you
always
a late bloomer?
Always athletic, you know what I mean? Athletic family, crazy genetics, and basically like in all reality, I should have probably been playing football in the league somewhere, you know what I mean? But growing up, I was a smaller dude, always rocked up, always cut up, always this, but I didn't have the mass, I didn't have the weight on me. And growing up in Arizona, you had to do a lot of summer football stuff, this and that, and I'd rather be at the pool parties, partying, having a good time instead of doing that. And 2 years of me playing football, they were just like wasn't giving me the shine I needed because I wasn't showing up to things, even though I was better than the guys. But back in the day, you didn't have a lot of smaller running backs. You had the big running backs. You had the big boys. So I stopped playing football, and then I was played basketball, 3-year letterman on basketball. I was always athletic, this and that, and that's how I know I was meant to, hit the weights and grow, because I don't have one stretch mark on my body. And I started out bodybuilding at 175 pounds, got up to 285 pounds.
Jesus.
And I don't have one stretch mark anywhere on my body. So that tells me my body was supposed to grow and do something.
Yeah. You're the kind of guy that looks at weights and grows, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I always hated guys like you, man. Now, give me an idea of what you're eating right now. I know it's a rough week, and this was a rough week. Or what's your diet like right now?
Actually, man, like last week was like a crazy week with eating. Last Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, I had a refeed all 4 of those days in a row. And 3 of those days, I had a cheat on 3 of those days. And on the other, the 4th refeed, I just had a refeed with a clean refeed. And the way I woke up, after the 3rd day of refeeding, I woke up a pound lighter than I woke up on Friday before the refeed. So then we had another one Monday. And so since Tuesday, I've been on my baseline diet. And my baseline diet, my refeed diet is about 6,000 some calories, you know what I mean? Like 480 grams of rice, 200 grams of chicken on a couple meals. I wake up in the morning on my refeed day. I have 3 English muffins, 200 grams of steak, 2 whole eggs, 10 grams of peanut butter and jelly on each of them, with 180 grams of rice. And then it goes on like that. But then my baseline diet is 150 grams of rice, 200 grams of steak, 150 grams of rice, and 2 whole eggs, and 200 grams of chicken, 180 grams of rice on 2 meals. I have a shake and a protein. And then my last meal is 200 grams of chicken with 50 grams of oats.
So you're consuming a lot of food. Were you always able to?
Yeah, my whole career, I was always, beside the beginning, I never really zeroed out. I never go really below 200 grams of carbs. You know what I mean? 180 grams of carbs is like 0 carbs for me.
Right. And what about cardio? How much cardio are you doing?
We're just doing 30 minutes 5 times a week right now.
Yeah, you're destined to be a bodybuilder. You're destined to be a champion bodybuilder. Because with that kind of diet and that cardio you do and the shape that you're in, I've seen the physique updates on Instagram. I mean, there's no question about it that you are a destined champion bodybuilder.
I was supposed to be doing something. I was supposed to be doing something when it comes to muscles.
I mean, because when I talk to guys, they're doing 2 hours of cardio and no carbohydrates, and they want to shoot themselves, and it's like, holy shit.
We've never done that.
Well, that's good. And your body responds well to it, dude. Like, I don't know if you remember this, but we had a quick conversation when I met you at the Olympia, and you said to me, next year's going to be even better. Watch. Next year's going to be even better. And then when I saw you on Instagram, like this week when you had those back shots, I was like, yeah, this is better. Holy shit, this is a lot better.
Yeah.
You know, like it's you normally you don't see with black guys, the muscle is very round, and pleasing looking, and white guys is usually very grainy, and you have like that combination. You know, you have that grainy, you have that Dorian Yates graininess with the Dexter Jackson round muscle.
I got what you're saying.
But what do you think? What do you think has kept you out of like what is it that these guys have that they narrowly squeak out and pull off a win?
You know what's always been my weakness was my midsection. Midsection. I had a hernia. I had double hernias in my umbilical cord, and I had a hernia up here ever since 2008, 2009. I can remember. Never had really worried about waist wideness. Always had a small waist. But after I got my hernia surgery, where he removed the hernia up here, he did something with my abs. He messed something up, and where I messed up at is not keeping my stomach as tight as it was supposed to be as it was healing. And what I did was let my stomach go. And then that's where my waist got a little wider. So my waist is my weakness, you know what I mean? And with me hitting those vacuums, it really, helps out the front shots because, from the side and from the back, I can stand with anybody. But
definitely.
They always narrow me out when it comes to the front shot. So with me fixing the front double bicep and the front lat spread, and it's gonna be a different story.
You got a great shot of winning Indy. A Blessing and your main rival is probably Justin. But from the back and the side shots, like you said, you beat him out. Justin's got a great front double bi. Yeah. But now that I'm thinking, like, if he doesn't come in like rock solid 100%, he doesn't have that detail in his back. You really got a good shot of winning, beating him.
Yeah, like Justin, man. Justin's like one of the coolest people too, man. Like me and Justin are cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've met him several times.
I'd be one to like his photos, but that's my competition. So I'm not liking his shit no more. I'm not liking his shit no more. Before Indy to Arnold, he was doing all the shows. I'm liking his stuff before the show. I'm messaging him like, go out there and get yours. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Justin's a dope bodybuilder, man. He's good shit. You know what I mean? But I feel like where I can edge him out is with like the details and the shapes. You know what I mean?
No question.
I feel like I could edge him out a little bit. So
yeah. When Justin comes in and he's on point, he's hard to beat.
Yeah,
he's very hard to beat. But
what kills me with Justin is he's like 2 or 3 weeks out, and he looks like he's holding so much water, and he's holding this, holding that.
And he shows
every time, every show, he looks like that 2 or 3 weeks out. Then you blink, and it's showtime. Like, damn, he always brings it in. So whatever him and AJ are doing, they got their method going. This and that, and that. I'm going out here to win this show. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be a cakewalk. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be this. I'm ready to battle with Justin, but we just gonna have a good time out there, man. He gonna push me. I'm gonna push him. I'm gonna push everybody. I'm sure other people's gonna push me. So it's on.
Oh, absolutely. But you're 100% right, because I did a preview to the Arnold Classic, and I checked out everybody beforehand. And who was it? It was me, Jason Owens, and Jose Raymond. The three of us did a preview, and I didn't even have Justin in my top 4 or 5 because I'm like, he just doesn't look like he's gonna nail it. And then he comes in, and I was like, holy shit.
He should have placed higher at the Arnold, but he came back that second. Right. To show like how he looked. So
yeah, it is what it is. Shit happens, but he made it up in Boston. He's looking for that. He's looking for that win too. But I think he's already qualified for the Olympia, right?
No, I don't think he's.
He's not.
He didn't place top 5 last year. I know he might be up there with points.
Yeah.
Because he placed second at Boston, and then he placed 4th at Arnold or 5th at Arnold. So. Those are some good points he added. So he's up there in the point list, but he's not qualified.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So he's looking for the W, but
but
he ain't gonna get it.
He's gonna get the W in New York. He's getting the W in New York. That's his show to win, New York. Yeah.
So we got the South America coming up, Brazil.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it's not really the two main guys are the two Brazilian bodybuilders. You got Rafael and William Martins.
Yeah.
And William's got more of a physique like you, like very big and very hard and very round. But Rafael Brandao is just
pretty.
And
now he's always undersized on that stage, but now it looks like he can pull that back up. Look like he done put some size on.
Yeah,
he's looking dangerous. You know what I mean? I'm excited to see how he looks. He's looking dangerous.
Yeah, he looks like a Brazilian Flex Wheeler. You know, he's just gifted. You know, but I'd like to see, because there's a lot of bodybuilders I never heard of, so I'd like to see, you know, how these other guys come up, because this guy's coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah, everywhere.
You know, there's guys from Europe, there's guys from the UK, there's guys from
Africa, the Cebu school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's guys from the Middle East. I mean, they're coming out of nowhere. And Canada, I was like, holy shit. But now I like seeing the young guys come up and seeing the how they do and so on and so forth. But you know, everybody was high on Brett Wilkins on the Arnold. And I think he just had a little bit too much pressure, and Regan Grimes too. You know, those guys are young dudes.
Yeah. You know, what it was with Brett, you know what I mean? Brett, if Brett would have brought that look that he brought Chicago, he would have placed way higher. He would have did some real damage.
Definitely.
You know, we tend to do that. Like I've done that with Matt, where we like want to chase the number on the scale a little bit and keep a few pounds on and not play to our strengths. And that's kind of what Matt and Brett did. We did that in 2019 Chicago Pro, where we wanted to stay at a certain weight and bring it in. And if I'd have came in just a little sharper, we would have won.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's what it was with Brett. Like he was just, you know, you're going against some monsters on that Arnold stage. So he's like, first thing, like, oh, I want to be their size. So you want to keep some of that weight on, and it just took away some of that detail, you know what I mean? But Brett's gonna be dangerous, and Brett's a good dude, man. He's a good dude, like one of the coolest and best dudes out there. You know what I mean?
You give these guys a couple of years. You know, Regan, Brett, Nick Walker. You give them another. Nick Walker is probably, you know, your next Mr. Olympia. You know, but you give these guys a couple of years, and they're going to be dangerous. You could tell it's new muscle. You could tell these guys are in their 20s, and it's new muscle. When you look at you could see that the muscle has been worked and trained for years and so on and so forth. And there's a big difference when you're in your 20s and you put that new muscle on. It just doesn't have that grainy, hard look to it, you know? And it's just a matter of time. I mean, these guys are the next elite class.
Yeah.
But it's in the next few years. You know? All right. So what do you got going next week? The last week, what do you actually have to do in order to get prepared?
You know, I just listen to Matt. You know what I mean? That's all I do. I listen to the Matt. He takes the worry out of it. You know what I mean? Like I completely trust him. If I see a big drop on the scale, I send him my numbers, and whatever he tells me to do, I do. You know what I mean? Because I really trust what Matt does, and he knows my body. So basically, Matt got the wheel, he got the keys, and he just tells me what to do. And you know what I mean? I see him on the 11th out there in Indy, and we'll do our thing. You know what I mean?
How many years you been with him now?
Since 2018. So 18,
4 years.
19. 4 years. But
it's
been with two coaches. You know what I mean? I started competing in 2014 with one coach for 4 years and another coach for 4 years.
Yeah, that's a big mistake guys make when they jump from coach to coach to coach. You got to give guys time to figure out your body. You know what I mean? Especially when you're a young dude. Yeah. Listen, Charles, man, I don't want to keep you. I know you're exhausted and you're prepping, and I just wanted to get you on. And you're definitely one of my favorite bodybuilders out there, and I appreciate you coming on and giving me some time, man. Yes. And I you're gonna do well. I mean, you're gonna get the W. You know, there's no question about it. You know, it's just it's just definitely gonna happen. Yes. And we'll definitely keep in touch. I'll be watching. And then
we're going to do another one when we get this Olympia qualification. We're going to have to
exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. When you get the W, you come back on a nice full stomach, and then we'll have a nice long interview.
Oh yeah, sounds like a plan.
All right, brother. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my man. Appreciate you.
Night.
Later.